Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of MGR Unplugged. Very excited. Today we have a show that is going to go fast and quick. We have a few retail acquisitions to speak about, and then Black Friday predictions and some other updates in the econ world that we love so much. So we'll get started right away, and we'll be right back. Stay there.
None of you people can tell me to stop. Lower the lights down. Hand over my crown. Hand over my heart. I do this for my town. I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time, my time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
All right, guys, welcome back. David, how are you today?
Very good, very good.
Very good.
As
Tired,
always.
excited.
As always. You're never gonna. What am I gonna say? Nah, I'm feeling like shit today. You want me
Yeah,
to say
well,
that?
a lot of people are feeling like shit today
Yeah,
and
well.
last week and all these days. It's tough, and that's something that we may discuss at some other point. But today, not today. Today we have a lot of retail news and acquisitions, and somehow we're starting to feel like the holiday season starts. It's even getting a little cooler in Phoenix for a change today. It's amazing. I was swimming
Yes.
this morning, and it was cold. The water was cold. I'm like, it hasn't been cold for like 4 months now, but it was chilly. So anyways, feels good. So retail. What's happening in the retail world?
Quite a bit. What do you want to talk about first?
Acquisitions. I mean, we're hearing about all these companies that are in really bad shape. JCPenney being one of them. Lauren Taylor is also filing for bankruptcy.
Others.
Brooks Brothers. I mean, there's
Neiman Marcus, everybody.
Neiman Marcus. I
If
mean,
they're in retail, they're probably on the verge of bankruptcy. Just assume that. Let's just be honest. At this
or
point.
without Verge, they're on bankruptcy.
or they are in bankruptcy.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough on retail, and it doesn't seem like it's going to get much better right away. But in the meantime, there's also a lot of other major companies or investment groups that are trying to, I would say, take advantage, but trying to rescue. That's the word they like to use.
That's the word they like to use.
They like
I
to
like
use-
to use a different word.
Yes, I
which
know, that
is,
kind of scavenging. Vultures.
Just advantageously acquiring.
Well, it's a little bit. Well, okay. Let's get with the topic.
Yeah, so Simon Properties, which is, I think they're the largest retail property owner in the United States. If
meaning
not,
they own a lot of shopping malls.
yeah, they're the largest mall owner. I don't know if retail property period, but they're basically a massive retail property owning company, investment company. They own tons of malls. Anyways, what they've been doing is going on a massive acquiring spree this whole year. So to name some of the things they bought Barney's New York, which went bankrupt. They bought Brooks Brothers, which went bankrupt. This week, the big one, they bought J.C. Penney for pennies on the dollar. Okay, J.C. Penney, I think most of us would think of them as a pretty large, well-known retail brand in the United States. And they bought them for $1.7 billion, I think was the number, right around there. That's like, I mean,
Just the
they
space.
did. I think they did $14 billion in revenue last year. So they sold for a tenth of revenue, basically.
Yeah, well, but revenue is one thing, profits is
No,
another,
I
obviously.
understand, but you look at like tech companies these days, and they trade at 50 times revenue, and JCPenney just got acquired for a tenth of revenue.
Right.
That's
It's
crazy.
more, like in investment, they say past performance does not guarantee future results. And they're, as you know, investors are looking at projections and the future more than the past. So
Of course,
JCPenney,
of course. Obviously, JCPenney was not in good shape,
And-
but
and in
it's
truth,
just
I mean-
remarkable that a company that's so seemingly large would sell for so little, honestly. And they bought other things too. They've bought so much. It's actually remarkable. Because keep in mind too, for Simon Properties, JCPenney was one of their largest
Tenants.
tenants, basically. So.
But look at the repercussions of that too. I mean, when companies like JCPenney, you go to a shopping mall, and shopping malls have all these shapes for like a cross or T or whatever, but they have some anchor stores that are the ones that attract most of the visitors, whether it's Macy's, JCPenney, Nordstrom's, you name it, Sears, obviously now obsolete too. But those are the ones that attract major customers traffic, basically. And then the other small retailers that have also their stores at the shopping mall go because of that. So it's to their best interest as far as Simon Properties and all the other mall developers and owners to keep those anchor properties at the malls. Because if they disappear, first of all, the other companies, the other smaller retailers will disappear too. They have a reason, a reason to break the lease and say, I'm no longer going to be here. So it's a little bit of a mutual interest acquisition, saying.
So what Simon Properties is doing is really interesting. I don't know if it'll work. Maybe it will. But they're buying up brands and retail companies for pennies on the dollar, basically. Like Brooks Brothers, which is... I didn't even understand how old they were. Brooks Brothers made the suits that Abraham Lincoln wore, okay, to put it in perspective. They've been like, they famously made the suits for every president since Lincoln, I believe. But not just that, like they make, men's clothing. They're like one of the oldest men's clothing companies in America. They did I think it was 1.4 billion in revenue last year. They got acquired for 330 million by Simon Properties. I mean, we're talking they are just so scooping up these legacy big brands for nothing. They partner with BlackRock.
Right, that's where the money's coming from, really.
Yeah, I mean, Simon has their own money, and then BlackRock obviously is the biggest investment firm in the world. And they basically are teaming up and just buying all these properties. But they also bought some things that were interesting that I was telling you before. They bought the likeness and estates or commercial rights of Muhammad Ali, Elvis Presley, and some other like famous older figures. And their plan is to use those older figures. So maybe... I don't know, like in the sense of Brooks Brothers, maybe like use Muhammad Ali in a Brooks Brothers campaign to kind of like, because Brooks Brothers is very like traditional old America brand. So maybe they'll use like Muhammad Ali in a campaign to promote Brooks Brothers, like things like that. That's their plan.
Which with the current Black Lives Matter makes a lot of sense because he was the pioneer as far as opening up their revolts and everything for Black Americans.
But that's their plan. So they're buying the estates or commercial rights. I'm not sure exactly the details of these deals, but basically they're going to use the likeness of a lot of famous older figures, many of them just dead figures, to promote their brands, and bring legitimacy back to them.
Do you think BlackRock / Simon Properties are buying them, or these retailers or these companies, to help them survive and then basically let them go again, or they're just acquiring them? I don't know if like a mall developer or tenant or commercial real estate person doesn't want to own the retailer as well. It's not part of their business model. So they're doing it now, obviously, for a good reason.
Well,
and also because they get a smoking deal price. And by doing that, they also secure other retailers that may stay at the mall because JCPenney doesn't show like it's out of business.
Yeah, I mean...
but what's the long-term perspective when they do that?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not in the boardroom at Simon Properties, so I can't tell you what their plan is.
BlackRock has to respond to their own investors, and their own investors may say, "Why are you guys spending our money on buying JCPenney?
BlackRock,
why don't even?"
I think that's not an issue so much. I mean, BlackRock is. I think they have $7 trillion in huge assets. So for them, like a $300 million acquisition is like nothing. Okay, so it's not like even a blip on the radar. To me, it's more. I don't know what Simon's long-term strategy is. I've seen different takes. Some people think it's brilliant. Some people think they're complete idiots. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. I see what they're going for. Because really, this is an opportunity for them. You say they don't want to own these brands. Maybe in a traditional old sense of retail, you don't want to own the brands that hold your stores or that are tenants in your stores. But maybe in this new era of retail that has basically been disrupted, maybe it's actually better to own the stores. Because then it's kind of like the idea of most companies when they're looking to grow and expand, and gain more control, they either go horizontally or vertically. And in this case, Simon is going vertically. So they own the brands, that own the stores, that own, right? So that occupy the malls that they own. So they are doing that. Now, let's say 10 years from now, this plan really works, and all of a sudden Penney is back and profitable, Brooks Brothers is back and profitable. Maybe they'll sell the brands again. But I don't know.
But if I'm Macy's or Nordstrom or another major store at a Simon property mall, and I see that they own Penney now, and they don't own me, I may feel a little bad about it, because a little bit of a jealousy thing, saying, "Why these guys are getting a little more of a preferential treatment."
Yeah, but can I tell you something? Macy's has no leverage right now.
No, I know.
So it doesn't
I
matter.
understand. Well, they have the leverage. They can say, "We're going to do the same," and then now you lose another anchor, and then you may.
But
you know what I'm saying? Like
Macy's,
it's almost like a big
no.
parent is giving preferential treatment to one child, but the other 2 or 3 that are major tenants there that have almost the same influence are feeling like, okay, well, there's one to save. You're gonna put more effort into saving Penney.
I think you're right if this happened 30 years ago. But I think the idea of the anchor stores, first of all, the anchor stores are different now. Like this was like a few months ago, said if you owned like a mall, what would be the 3 stores that you definitely wanted to have? And most of the answers, like my answer, I think was the Apple store, Lululemon, and the Nike store probably would be like the 3 that I want. And most people had variations of that.
Right. They're not
Nobody mentioned Macy's or Nordstrom's or those aren't anchors anymore.
But it depends on the demographic of who you who you ask. I think the traditional shopper likes those Macy's and Saks Fifth Avenue and all those, because they have a variety of things.
I think Macy's needs Simon Properties more than Simon Properties needs Macy's. Because Macy's wants that. People don't go out of their way to go to Macy's anymore. If it's at a mall and well located, we're walking past, let's go into Macy's real quick.
That's true.
That works.
And also,
but I don't think if Macy's is like a standalone store that a lot of people are going to be going to Macy's.
Right. And if you notice, I actually did that 2-3 weeks ago. You go to these outlets, where I just went to ones that are right outside of Phoenix, and there was a line of people waiting to get into the stores. Obviously, there's no anchor stores. Yeah, exactly. There was the Nike stores, the Lululemon, all the outlets with the
anchor stores at malls now are the Apple store, the Nike store, Lululemon, and other brands. Obviously, it depends from there. Those are more middle market, right? So like everybody in the US has iPhones these days, and everybody buys Nike. Now, depending on the type of mall, if it's a luxury mall, then maybe you want a Gucci store or whatever store. If you're a more middle market mall, you want different brands. So it depends from there.
Right.
But I'm saying the new anchors are like Apple Store and Lululemon and Nike.
Understood. So that makes my point about why these guys are investing into Penney, because nobody goes to a mall to go to Penney.
Right. And by the way, what's unique about those stores compared to Macy's?
Pricing.
No.
Which stores? Penney.
Nike and Apple Store and Lululemon compared to Macy's or Nordstrom's.
What's unique?
Yeah. What's special about them that's new that we didn't necessarily always see before?
I mean, a lot of things, but I don't know
They're
exactly where you're coming
brand-owned
from.
stores.
Oh, you mean the DTC? Yeah,
they're
the
DTC.
branding. Right.
Lululemon owns the Lululemon store.
Right.
Nike has the Nike store.
Right.
And so Macy's, there's no Macy's clothing. You
Right,
sell
they're
other
resellers.
brands.
Right.
So that's what's changing, basically. And now I think malls of the future are going to be filled with brand-owned stores and a few
that's why
retailers.
I see the concept of...
But those retailers, I'm saying, need the malls much more than the malls need them.
That's why I think in the future, most of the malls... I mean, we have some of those here in Arizona because it's better weather, but the outdoor type mall, where you see all these almost like outlets, but the outlets have this unique thing about discounted prices because they are items from previous seasons and so forth. But you have an outdoor mall where people just go shopping in a almost like an urban type setting where you go from store to store to store. And then you're outdoors, which is healthier. You normally, you don't have these enclosed situations for possible pandemics and viruses and stuff like that. And then if you go shopping in that experience, then you don't need these big stores. You just go from store to store, you know. So I almost think that it's better if these Macy's and JCPenney's divide or divest themselves into smaller little retailers and say, this is JCPenney apparel, and that's where you go. You don't care about the appliances or every other thing or electronics or anything they may sell. So they have like little individual stores.
Like department stores used to be big.
Yeah, because they combine.
Why is it called department? Because they had many departments.
They combined the departments into one big building.
That used to be big, but I think the era of the mega department store is probably over. I don't think people care that much about a mega department store anymore. It used to be a big, because you know why? We have a mega department store in our phones. Okay, it's called Amazon. I don't need Macy's anymore.
Right.
And we have a ton of options. And not even that, I can just go directly to a company's website now. I don't need to go to Macy's.com. Like, I don't know what Macy's e-commerce numbers are, but I can't imagine a ton of people are like jumping to go to Macy's.com the first time they're thinking about buying something, right?
I do think for let's segue into the Black Friday sales and everything that we want to talk about too. But I do think there's a special still tradition or love or lure or something of people that like to go shopping, going to stores and seeing whatever they're buying. You know, whether it's clothing or electronics or books or something. There's a special attraction into going to the store and seeing the future versus just being in the computer looking at pictures and clicking. You may ultimately buy something on the computer or on Amazon or one of those, even Nike.com or something, but the going to the store, the trying, the touching, the feeling is something that I think people like. And even I'm not a big shopper by any means, but when I went a couple of weeks ago to outlet stuff, I was like, wow, this is kind of nice. I was able to try a few pairs of shoes and try this and try that. And it was like, I can see, and there were a lot of people there. Obviously, more people that were allowed because they had, capacity limitations as far as how many people allow into the store. But with that social distancing, spacing, and masks and everything else, it was okay to go to the store. So I do think there's a place for retail. And we were talking about Black Friday. We've been kind of trying to make predictions since, I don't know, in the summer. We were talking about how Black Friday is going to happen and the holidays and all that. So it looks like now retailers, at least the major retailers, have decided that obviously they're not going to be open on Thanksgiving Day, which is when they started having Black Friday. Obviously, it was Friday. And then they started kind of backing it up to open at midnight and open at 10 and open this to the point that most people couldn't even enjoy, most people involved in retail couldn't even enjoy Thanksgiving because they had to go to the stores and be there. So now most of the major retailers have said, we're not going to open on Thanksgiving for any Black Friday sales. And it'll be just, starting on Friday, and then they'll decide how they're going to do it. So, but I do think this Black Friday is going to be critical for all the stores that we're talking about, the Macy's, the Nordstroms, and all these big retailers that normally they use it to kind of break even for the year, but this year is going to be more like to survive, to see if they make it. So,
yeah, but I don't think they're going to get. I don't think they're going to get all those sales.
Obviously.
I mean, a lot of them are just not even going to have Black Friday, and if they do,
they will have some kind of Black Friday.
It's not going to be. It's going to be like social distance to Black Friday,
right?
And it's just not going to be anything like they're used to.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I don't think it's going to be the sales boon that they might hope it is.
No, it's not. Well, that's the point, that they're trying to adapt as much as possible to the new Black Friday situation, and they're going to have all these sales. They're going to drive people to the stores if they can. Obviously, they're going to try to drive a lot of people online, and the Black Friday will become almost like a Cyber Friday. But people that do like to go to the store because they like to go and buy, and they don't like to buy online for whatever reason, they will still go there, but there's going to be limitation of capacity of how many people can walk into the store. Normally, if the store is packed, nobody polices the stuff in the past. You can be like shoulder to shoulder with people shopping, doing this or that, and nobody cared. Now they do. So they have people at the door that are going to say, okay, we only can accept like 200 people, and they count them, and then one person comes out, another person goes in, and that's how it goes. So that is going to create, I think, even more traffic outside the store because you want to buy something where there's a limited quantity or limited stock, and if you are like 200th on the line, and by the time you get there, you probably will not be able to get it, So it's almost like the doorbuster deal, but it's going to be like coming back to every product. And then, but at the same time, the major retailers, the Best Buys, the Walmarts, the Targets, the Bed Bath and Beyond. I mean, this is all the stores that have usually big sales, and I care less about the Home Depots and all that because those get traffic whenever. I mean, they can have deals and stuff, but they're not the traditional Black Friday store. But the major retailers are gonna have to really plan carefully how they do it, because it's not gonna be like you said, like in previous years where they can just try to break even and get the black numbers. But they will need to do as much as they can so they can make it through 2021, and hopefully by then things will start getting a little more back to normal with hopefully a vaccine or some kind of treatments and everything, where people feel more, more safe. So I don't know. My prediction is that this Black Friday is going to be extremely interesting as far as how, and the stores don't even know it yet. I mean, for what you read, I mean, Uber decided not to open on Thursday. I don't know. They don't know exactly how they're going to pan their sales, and everybody's kind of waiting to see what the other one is doing, and then they're going to come up with all the offers. Any input on that? Or
it's going to be great for e-commerce companies.
Well, and that takes me to the next topic, which is actually Amazon Prime or Prime Day. So
yeah, I think they should just not do it. I mean, they're going to do it, but they missed it. Okay, yeah, okay. It's this thing they made up. But they missed it. It was in July and they didn't do it. Fine, I understand. But having it a month before Black Friday.
Well, first of all, I don't understand why Amazon didn't do it in July. I mean, obviously
because of the pandemic.
No, I understand the pandemic, but they're online. What's the difference? Everybody was buying everything.
They were already struggling to keep up with current demand, so they couldn't have now a super day.
So they were saying, Amazon was saying that during the pandemic they were prioritizing first necessity or whatever they call products that were more.
Plus, I don't know how many people in the middle of pandemic are like, oh wow, there's sales.
Yeah, that too. Care. Well, I mean, if you need to buy something, if it's on sale, you're gonna buy more. But I understand, obviously, at that point when you're being furloughed or you don't have a job or you're in a pandemic, you're not gonna buy a 4K TV, maybe, so that's not the right time. But it looks like it's going to happen. I mean, Amazon has said that it may. Well, I'm not sure if Amazon has said it, but everybody else in the tech world is saying that it may happen somewhere between October 5th, October 9th, something like that, like maybe a week over there, which coincidentally or not is about a month before Black Friday. I know this oversells Thanksgiving, so a month and a half. So if they have this thing in October, which is before the elections, before Black Friday and Cyber Monday and all that. And normally when Amazon has Prime Day, all the other major retailers match it somehow. They use the promotion that Amazon does to say, hey, we're going to have the same prices. We're going to match their prices. And they don't call it Prime Day because it's obviously not their name, but they have similar promotions with Walmart and Best Buy and all that stuff. So will that become now like a pre-Black Friday sale? Because if people buy a 4K TV on sale on Amazon or elsewhere in mid-October, obviously they're not going to buy it again for Black Friday deals. Right. So
I don't know. I don't know if people are going to be like, I'll just wait for Black Friday. If they're going to say, I'll just buy it now. I don't know. The reason they had it in July is because it was basically a good amount away.
It was like Christmas in July type thing.
Yeah, exactly. So having it a month before the peak season, I don't know. We'll see. It'll be an experiment if they do it.
Yeah, this year, people can only have so much
I also
money.
don't know how much people are going to care because there's so much going on. Like, in July, like, the nice thing about having it in July is it's like probably a slow summer month, So, but, like, in October, it's going to be, like, peak a month before the election. There's, like, still pandemic stuff going on. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much people are going to care about Amazon Prime Day,
Well, I mean, I think it's just that, the traditional fall season in the U.S., at least, we had the back to school, which is already kind of, I'm amazed that some retailers are saying that back to school will be actually more profitable this year because the back to school means kids are going to be studying from home and they're going to have to buy more supplies. I don't really understand that, but I guess that's the case. I mean, if they don't go to school and they're studying from home.
Yeah, but I mean, back to school isn't
well, it is big for certain retailers quite a big. I mean,
But it's nothing compared to Black Friday.
No, obviously not. Obviously not. But you have the back to school or right after Labor Day, and then you have obviously Halloween that is already advertising. And I don't know how Halloween is going to happen, but you go to major stores now, and they already have all the Halloween decoration. So I don't.
Yeah,
think,
but we're not having Halloween this year.
I don't. Well, we're not having trick or treaters, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
That's
but,
what Halloween is.
Well, exactly. So
And I don't think. I
so
mean,
why are they
I'm sure
having?
there will be people who have parties, but like, I don't know.
Not in all places. In some places, you can have more than 10 people or whatever. So
I don't know.
yeah.
You know, I just want to say, never been a big Halloween guy. Of all the holidays, I don't know. It didn't do much
Well,
for
it's
me.
a tradition. I mean, it's been changing a lot lately. But anyways, the point is that you have, as far as retailers go, you have obviously back to school, you have Halloween, then you get into November with Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and then you go all the way to holiday season, Christmas seasons, and all that stuff. So, and this year you have everything mixed up. And that involves also the fact that our normal life has also been mixed up. Kids are not actually going to school yet. In each state is different. Here in Arizona, they're not back at school. I don't think they are anywhere in the country, to be honest.
But I'm saying also, I just think all those things are great when times are good and people have nothing going on. So they're like, oh, Halloween. But, you know, when times are tough, I don't think people give a shit about stupid little holidays like that.
Yes, that's one way to look at it. But the other thing is like people...
Like, first of all, Halloween isn't like a celebration of anything.
No, I know. But there's always things... It's just part of the getting into the spirit of the holiday season coming and all that stuff. And I think even though people don't give a shit, like you said, because they have more important things to worry about, there's another factor of people that says... I want to have a normal life as much as I can. And you want your kids to grow up and you don't want them to miss the things that are traditional for kids, the Halloweens, the holidays, the Christmas and all that stuff. How are you going to have
no, Christmas is different, but I'm saying...
Yeah, so you're not going to have Santas or sitting on Santa's lap and all that stuff.
Well, you're definitely not going to have sitting on Santa's lap.
You're going to have Santa with a face mask.
But,
I mean, all that stuff. I mean, kids...
That's like... Well, never mind.
What?
You know, if you're a pedophile, that's like the best job, right? Like, if you're a pedophile, you're like, oh, I'm going to go apply to be Santa at a mall.
Well,
that's come on. Is there a better job than that for a pedophile?
Well, I think you're a pedophile.
I mean, I heard Epstein was saying...
You will not be accepted to be a Santa
or
anything.
If Epstein didn't have an island, he would have just pretended to be Santa, I think. That was his backup plan.
How did we get to that topic now we're talking about?
It was always a weird thing to me. I never liked the idea of sitting on some random man's lap.
I don't like clowns, and I don't like anybody with a costume, like a disguise thing. I never liked him. Other than a superhero or something like that, those I like. But the Santas and sitting on his lap and that guy is a scumbag, and then he takes all his disguise off and he's like a fucking thug or something. And I have my daughter or my son sitting there. You know, that's not good. But anyways, what I was saying is that most families...
Someone should make a movie about that.
Well, I'm sure there'd be
pedophile Santa. I'm just saying. There you go. You don't have to pay me. I don't need any rights.
I'm sure there's been thief Santas and fake Santas and all that stuff. But that's like a sacred figure, man. We don't want to mess these things. You know, Santa is Santa. It's a good thing.
Everything sacred is gone.
Right, but I mean, the serious thing is like, I mean, families want their children to grow up with these traditional values and all that stuff. And they're not going to say, oh, no, we're not going to see the Thanksgiving parade this year. Or we're not going to see Visit Santa this year. Or things like that.
Do people care about the parade anymore?
Well, yeah, they have it.
But does anybody watch that anymore?
Well, obviously...
When was the last time you watched the Macy's
I don't give a fuck about the parade.
Okay.
But I'm not a normal guy.
But even when I was a kid, I never watched that shit. Who gives a fuck?
Okay, well, the Macy's...
it's boring. It's a bunch of... First of all, they have the Peanuts. Kids these days don't even know who the Peanuts are. Peanuts haven't been on TV in 40 years or more. Okay, like... I don't know. I think a lot of those things...
You have freaking the Today Show people, whoever are the hosts these days...
Who watches the Today Show anymore?
I don't know, but they have it on
That's
TV.
my point.
Prime time, Thursday morning, the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade with all these balloon animals floating around and all that stuff.
They have the girls who like kick their... What do they call it? They kick their legs. Who gives a shit? Who's watching that? It's like 4 hours. It's so
No,
boring.
I don't think it's that long, but it's that prelude to football games.
And they have like the stupid kids in the band, and this choir from whatever fucking stupid middle school. It's like, who cares?
The Grinch.
I mean,
is here.
it's like, who's watching?
How did you just
that
wake
stuff
up to it?
anymore? No, I mean, I'm just saying, Macy's. It's pretty soon. It's not gonna be Macy's anymore. I can say, it's gonna like Macy's like crossed out. With,
It's gonna be the Simon Properties
It's
Day.
gonna be the Amazon overlords Thanksgiving Day parade. Jeff Bezos' Thanksgiving Day parade. I own the world now. Thank you, Macy's. Bye bye.
Either way, can we get back to the topic that we're
My
discussing?
point is,
Well, okay. So let me ask you: Do you
all-
think
all
this
those
week, this
things-
year? I mean, that's in New York, number one, which is like they don't even open restaurants in New York, which I think they will finally.
Who knows? New York might just burn to the ground by Thanksgiving
Okay,
anyways.
well-
so we'll see.
Well, don't
You
say
go to
that.
the you go to the Thanksgiving.
Look what happened to James Altucher when he
You
said
go
that.
to the
and he got, like,
Thanksgiving Day parade and you're there with your kid and you like kind of raise your arm up. Look at that, and some guy just comes and stabs you in the ribs and.
oh my god.
No, I'm just kidding. I love
Or
New York.
coughs on-
Actually,
or
with
cou-
how
or-
cheap
or coughs on you or
with
something.
how cheap real estate in New York is gonna become, I might just go move to New York for a year. I mean,
Yeah, you better find a nice
It's
place
gonna
because
be
you'll be in your house forever. You can't even go out.
it'll open. Next year it'll be open.
Yeah, well, no restaurants. I don't even know where we were, man. You kind of totally derailed this
I'm just
conversation.
saying-
I'm just trying to have some normalcy for the last 3 months of the year.
Yeah, we'll
and
have
see,
Christmas and Thanksgiving and all that, but like the parade and Halloween and like
So what? Okay,
it's
we
not gonna
had
happen.
We started with, the pandemic started in March. We missed all the Easter shit and all that stuff. Summer is being a disaster for people because nobody was able to go anywhere or even to the beach or anything. And now we get back to the fall when we all thought that this was going to be over and taken care of. And now not only is it not over, but we don't even know if he's going to come back stronger. We're going to have flu season. We have elections in the country and no president or candidate knows what the fuck
Right.
they're
The
doing.
truth is, what's going to be happening at Thanksgiving, especially if we have the mail-in ballots, which they say could take weeks to get the results of the election, is that everybody is going to be at Thanksgiving dinner pointing knives at each other because they're mad about who should win the election.
We are
and no matter
replacing-
who
we're re-
wins, it's going to be claimed rigged.
Yeah, NBC is going to say we're replacing this year's Thanksgiving or Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade
Instead of-
with the count of the ballots, and we're trying to see
This
which-
year, instead of having the children's choir sing at the Macy's parade, we're going to have two homeless people fight in a cage match, and that's going to be it. And one's going to be wearing a Trump shirt, and the other's going to be wearing a Biden
don't we
shirt.
just have-
and whoever lives, that's going to be the
Okay,
president.
well, why don't we just have Trump and Biden fight themselves?
I would be for that.
Who do you think that will be pay-per-view? Who do you think will
Oh,
win?
I would pay money to see that.
Do you see that?
Actually, honestly, let's be honest. The fight wouldn't last longer than 5 minutes. They would both be fucking knocked out, tired.
Let's see.
They wouldn't last.
They're both tied.
And then Bernie would come in and have a heart
Hey,
attack in the middle of the
listen,
ring.
Listen, nobody recognizes the other guy as the winner, okay? Because Trump already said that
So-
if I lose, I will never admit it. And
Right,
then
that's
Biden
what I
is
said.
basically...
No matter who wins, it's rigged. It's rigged.
Right, right.
Trump is already saying, like, he's got his little... He's saying, mail-in ballots, they're rigged. If I lose, it's rigged.
Except for his own, because
and then
he votes by mail
if
too.
he wins, everybody will say it's rigged.
Okay, so we have those two in the ring.
Dana.
In the octagon.
Dana White.
Right. They don't need go. They don't
Set
have to
this
go
up.
to Fight Island. They can just fight in the middle of New York.
Manhattan,
I'm
clear
sure,
out Times Square.
I'm sure Cuomo will be very happy.
We'll do it in the lobby of Trump Hotel. Just clear it out.
But seriously,
Set up a ring.
in this corner is Joe Biden with his assistant Kamala
How
Harris.
tall is Joe Biden?
I have no fucking clue. Probably
Trump is tall.
Trump is the tall dude, yeah. But I think Biden is more like a 5'10", 11. Maybe.
Trump's gained some weight.
Oh, fuck
He
yeah.
could just lay on Biden and crush him, I
If
think.
he was a wrestling match, but if they have like a striking match, then I don't think he can move very fast.
I don't think Biden's
But
punching
Biden
very
is
hard.
one little punch away
I
from
think they're
losing
both,
his
like
mind.
I said, people don't understand, if you've never fought, how tiring fighting is. They would go 2 rounds and both
2
pass
rounds?
out.
Are you kidding
Maybe
me?
not even. It would be on the second round and both of them would just pass out from exhaustion.
Okay, well then we get to vice presidents, and I think in that case, Kamala Harris could kick Mike Pence's ass.
Mike Pence, he's not very tall. He looks short.
and he's so fucking mellow.
And Kamala, she grew up in
Kamala is-
Oakland.
yeah.
She's from Oakland.
Yeah, no, she's a fighter.
Street fighting is like you get raised on street fighting in Oakland. So maybe
Okay. I'm gonna have to rewind this podcast to go back to.
so the point is
I never said that we were gonna discuss
Black
these things
Friday
with you.
is just not the main concern.
No, but I mean,
Okay, in all seriousness, sell online because there you don't have any social distancing issues or any restriction issues. The companies who are good at e-commerce are gonna win.
all right. So you are the vice president of.
Oh, it's too late now.
No, I know, but
I mean, it's too late now.
Like
You
if
don't
you
have that
are
much time
you're the
to
vice
prepare.
president of sales or marketing or whatever for a major company. Let's say Best Buy, public company. You are familiar with them, and
Okay.
What would you say? What would you do? And this is all serious. That is, how will you adapt to this year versus what you did last year? On normal circumstances, you are promoting this. You're trying to see who's
Okay,
selling
Best
what.
Buy is a company that, in their credit, has been working on e-commerce and developing their e-commerce for years now.
Yeah, they have.
And so they have not been as severely affected by the pandemic. Obviously, they were pretty affected, but like every retailer was. But they will survive this because of their e-commerce, right? So they've done a good job at that. So if I'm them, I would just focus this Black Friday on e-commerce. And if they want to do, they can continue with like the curbside delivery. So if you buy something online on Black Friday, you can come and pick it up at your nearest store if we have it in stock, obviously. Things like that. I mean, a lot of stuff they're already doing.
So,
right?
how will you modify the stores to allow people, like you know what? I was thinking the other day.
Well, in Best Buy's case, they can do it because they have big stores. Just get rid of the stupid CD section. You don't need it anymore.
Magnolia Theater is stupid.
Just yeah. I mean, you can do it in a big store like that.
But you know what? Like I like, as much as I thought IKEA's model was kind of silly.
By
all
the
this
way,
kind of,
did you see? I saw someone
Well-
post a picture of a IKEA parking lot that was packed, and I drove past our local
Oh, yeah,
IKEA
no, it's
here.
been-
I mean,
nothing is packed.
it was full.
I know.
like full.
And the difference,
I couldn't believe it.
I know. You see it by the freeway here, and during the pandemic when they were closed,
Yeah.
it's a huge
'Cause it's a
parking
huge
lot.
parking lot, yeah,
and there's
it's empty.
other retailers over there, and it was like a football stadium on asphalt that it was completely empty for weeks. I mean, there was nothing there.
Months.
Or yeah, months too. And then when they finally opened, which I don't know exactly when they did, but one day I drove and it was like completely packed. It's like everybody was just waiting, and they was like all
Which,
cars.
by the way, I mean, makes sense, right? If everybody's at home now,
Right.
Maybe people are like, "Hey, let
Well,
me
they're buying
upgrade
a lot
my
of stuff.
furniture."
Right.
you
People
know?
are working from home, need a desk, need this, and it's a fairly economic or store as far as the price.
They're bigger than I thought they were. You know how much revenue IKEA
Oh,
does?
they make, yeah. I
They're
mean,
like a $50 billion revenue
no, they're
company.
like freaking international. They're in every major city. I mean, obviously it's Swedish, and the guys.
I mean, I knew they were big, but I didn't think they were
No,
that
they're
big.
in every European city and everything. I mean, they actually came to the U.S. after they were already very successful in Europe, and they started opening stores everywhere. But the point is that the IKEA sales model, when you basically go through a whole section saying, okay, bedroom furnishing and home office furnishing and this and that, and then you go downstairs and you get your utensils and silverwares and picture frames and everything else, and then you check out and you get your stuff. That may work for like if I had a store like Best Buy, maybe I'll do something like that, saying, okay, you go through, computers, electronics, audio, video, blah blah blah. So you have like a line where people move and they only go to the section and then they keep going. So not everybody's kind of like roaming around randomly to places. So that might be if this lasts, I think that will be a good store layout, because everybody's trying to figure out how to lay out their stores to be safer, to comply with things, and to make the shopping experience still attractive, to people that go, So I think that may work. But again, I was just kind of trying to figure out if you were like a Best Buy marketing manager or not manager, but marketing president or something, just to, how will you deal with this situation differently than you've done in the past, knowing that you're going to have fewer customers, foot traffic versus trying to steer more traffic to online, sales and all that. So, all right.
Anything else?
Any other points on your thing?
No,
I wanted
good
to
on the
touch
retail topics.
briefly on just the one thing that we always talk about, electric cars and all that stuff. And
Oh yeah, this stupid thing.
It's not stupid. It's pretty major. I mean, you have a.
Oh, I didn't say it wasn't major. I'm just saying it was stupidly major.
It was yeah. I mean, we'll see. I mean, time will tell. But basically, we're talking about Nikola.
I come from the future. It was stupid.
Nikola, who's this electric car company who hasn't built a car or truck or anything as of now, other than a drawing of a prototype or something of a truck. And is way overvaluated in our opinion, as far as the market valuation. Just merged a little bit with GM for the production of their first truck, which is going to be an electric truck. And so GM paid, how much was that? It was
they acquired
$2 billion
for $2 billion. How much was it?
11% stake on the
basically company. Like an $18 billion valuation. For a company that doesn't have, forget pre-profit. That used to be the thing. We don't have profit yet. They don't have revenue. They haven't sold anything. No. They have not made $1 in revenue, and so they're worth $18 billion. I gotta give it props to the CEO of whoever the founder is. I mean, you'd want to talk about legally scam of a lifetime. I mean, the man's a billionaire from doing nothing.
Well, GM.
What are we doing with this stupid agency shit? Let's go pretend that we're gonna build electric fucking unicycles.
It's only our money laundering thing. So
make $1 billion. It probably is. GM said. I mean, I would say if GM had profits, but GM hasn't made a profit.
Well, but that's
in 10
the thing.
years.
GM, who has been rescued knowingly about a couple of times, and then who knows how their money they're getting. Now they decide to invest $2 billion in a company that you said they have no profits. They only have one prototype truck that hasn't been built or created yet, that is not going to be sold until or in theory until 2022 if everything goes to plan. That is going to be retailing between $60,000 and $90,000. So it's not like a truck for everybody. I mean, at that price.
And by the way, you said 2022?
Yeah.
Good one. 2022, my fucking ass. That car, if it ever comes out, will come out in 2024, 2025. It's not coming out in 2022. You know how long it takes to design, develop, test, and then create the manufacturing for a truck like that?
Well, I know.
I mean, Tesla, with way more resources and way more experience on their fourth version actually, with the Model 3 was having tons of problems.
Well, I know.
Nikola hasn't built shit.
Right. And I'm not saying that it's going to be for sale in 2022. Production is set for 2022. They're going to unveil it supposedly in December of this year, 2021. Okay.
2020 or 2021?
This in early December. This December, they said they're going to unveil some plans for the actual production.
All right.
And then production is set for 2022. So 2021, they're going to be creating the factory, whatever. So for 2022 to production to start, I don't know how long it takes to create the first trucks to go out, but who knows? It's going to be a 600-mile range, 900 horsepower truck. So it's basically competing with obviously the Tesla Cybertruck.
600-mile range.
That's what they say.
Do they have some unique battery technology the world isn't aware of?
They are.
Tesla's trucks don't go.
That's
that far.
why they merged with GM, because GM has the widely acclaimed quote unquote lithium, not lithium but lithium battery, and which apparently is the next generation, and that's going to give a wider range or a bigger range.
Why does GM need Nikola?
They should come up with their own.
Why can't they just build their own? Aren't they a fucking 100-year-old car company? They can't
maybe,
build a car?
like you were saying, maybe it's easier for GM to buy a company that already has something set up something
Nikola
themselves.
doesn't have anything.
Well, I know.
Nikola hasn't even made a car.
Something that we may have missed.
This is the real. I don't think we understand. They haven't made anything.
Right.
They haven't made one functioning truck.
Which you may know this better, but I don't remember. When was the Cybertruck supposed to go out or be ready for production or?
Next year or 2022? I don't remember.
Well, that will be like coming up with this one.
Yeah,
so,
but this one is.
Well, I know.
I'll put $1,000 right now. I'll say it. That truck will not come out in 2022.
The difference between.
Right now.
The difference between the Cybertruck and this one, based on the initial designs, is that the Cybertruck looks like a cyber robot truck. I mean, it looks so typical Tesla. It looks so different than any other truck. I mean, it looks like a stealth truck. This one looks more like an F-150 or GM Yukon or one of those things that actually has an electric motor and power plant and all that stuff. So I mean, that's the only difference I can see. If you want to buy a truck that looks like a normal truck and then is electric, maybe the Nikola is a better option. Or I don't know, the GM, whatever. The Cybertruck, obviously, everybody knows is a Tesla Cybertruck because it looks like something from space. So we'll see. Anyways, that's just the news. Time will tell. We'll have 2 years to a year and a half or so to see the results. But it was just the fact that we're talking about companies acquiring and pouring money. I don't know where GM got the money from, but $2 billion.
The government.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, too.
The governments, we, the taxpayer, said, here you go, GM. Here's your billions of dollars. And they said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to fund this money laundering scheme.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, it's a lot of money, and it's 11% of a lot or 11% of
And then
nothing.
it's gonna fail, and the GM, the CEO of GM is gonna be fired in 2 years and get his $80 million severance, and he's gonna say, "Fuck you guys, you fucking fell for it, you fucking suckers."
All right, so that's it for today. Football fans, don't forget football
hold
season.
on, basketball update, please. Hold on.
Oh man,
Hold
I was
on.
trying to get away without the basketball.
Hold on. It's Thursday today. Yesterday.
Yes, today is Thursday, the 10th of
Celtics-
September.
The Celtics could not beat the Raptors, so we're going to Game 7. It's going to be a fun one. The Clippers smashed the Nuggets. The Nuggets just can't score. It's what happens. The Clippers defense looks really good.
So the Nuggets are out?
No, they're down 3-1. It's over.
Okay, so nobody has come back from a 3-1. So
No, people come back. They came back from 3-1 in the last series. What are you talking about? It's
no, but not
3-0. No one's come back, but 3-1. Yeah,
in the second round.
in any round.
Really?
They just did it in the last round.
I know, but I thought they said yesterday that nobody in the second round, nobody has come back from a 3-1 or something. It doesn't matter.
The fucking Cavs did against the Warriors in the finals. Remember?
Yeah, but that's the finals. That's not the second round.
Okay, I don't know the rounds. Yes, it happens. It's hard, but it happens.
Okay.
But
Well,
guess
either
what?
way, they're down 3-1.
They're not doing it against the Clippers. The Clippers, they can't score. I mean, they literally cannot score against the Clippers. So they're done. So it's gonna be Clippers, probably Lakers. Unfortunately, I mean.
So you still think Lakers over Houston? They're 2-2 now, right?
No, they're 2-1.
2-1. That's right. Lakers. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, I tell you, Houston, Harden, Westbrook, and then Tony. I mean, those guys will never win anything.
No, I mean, Harden and Westbrook played really well. It was just fucking Rondo, and I mean, LeBron had a great game, and then Rondo had a little run. I mean, the series isn't over. Obviously, the game is tonight, so by the time people listen to this, they already know. If it's 3-1 Lakers, it's over. If they tie it 2-2, then we have a series. So tonight's game, I'm going to be rooting for the Rockets because I want a fun series. But it's probably going to be Lakers-Clippers. And then either Miami-Boston or Miami-Toronto.
Well, yeah, the Bucks are eliminated since we talked about
Yeah,
this.
the Bucks are out.
And Giannis has
But, you know, Giannis, I think Milwaukee is a tough place for you to win.
The weather sucks out there.
They don't have a winning culture. It's fucking cold as hell. You want to live in Milwaukee? What good is having $200 million in Milwaukee? What are you going to do in Milwaukee with $200 million?
Well, for a few years.
Come to Phoenix, play with Devin Booker. He's the perfect match. He can shoot. He can handle the ball. He can create space. You don't even have to worry about shooting threes. He's going to do the pick and roll with you. You'll be the next Shaq and Kobe.
Okay.
You'll fucking win 4 championships.
I don't think people are listening to this.
Come
They're
on.
probably already disconnected by now.
Point is, I think it's going to be Lakers-Clippers in the conference final, and that's going to be the real final because as good as Miami has been, and whoever they play, Boston, whatever, if it's Miami-Boston, whoever wins that series, I don't think either of them are going to beat the Lakers or the Clippers. So I think this is going to be one of those years where whoever wins the Western Conference final, that's the real championship.
Yeah, I think so too.
So it's probably going to be Lakers or Clippers. That'll be a great series. I mean, unfortunately, it's not going to be actually played in LA. It's going to be in fucking Orlando, so you won't have the crowds viewing it. But that'll be a good series.
Well, but that's part of the deal. So, and then football again, it starts tonight. And then I was actually looking because I didn't know exactly what happened with the football fans and spectators and all that stuff. Well, they don't have a bubble, obviously. So, but it looks like it varies by state and by city and by team. So if you are a fan of your team, I'm sure you know whether you can go to the stadium or not. But look it up. But it looks like some stadiums will have like 10%, 20% capacity, limited number, others not at all. So it depends on your local state governor rules and all that stuff. So it also changes week by week. So you may not be able to go to a stadium for the first couple of games, and then if things get better, you may go to a stadium if you're a season ticket holder, or you want to go. If you don't have tickets, like season ticket holder, and you want to go see a football game and they open, this is a great chance to go because they're willing to open, to let you come in. So, but it starts tonight, and then which is incredible because it's like. I actually thought it was a bit later, but when I'm looking up watching basketball before football, usually it's the other way around. But anyways, this is the thing. So enjoy the weekend, and that's all we have for today. We'll be back next week with some new stuff. Okay, stay safe, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.